Okay, everyone, shall we, just the last, grab a seat if you want. There's pleasingly, not too many free, which is a nice turnout tonight. Must be the sun. Everyone's amazed about it. We get scared of the sun and have to run inside in Birmingham, don't we? So welcome all. Okay. Good. So thank you all for coming. That's me. My name's Cliff. I'm going to speak at you for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then hand over to the people who are going to do all the really meaty, valuable stuff. My name's Cliff, as I say. Hands up, who hasn't been to Innovation Birmingham before? Okay, so quite a few people. So a quick minute or so on Innovation Birmingham. So you're sitting in Innovation Birmingham, so well done, you found it. We are 3 buildings currently, this one here, the one next door, and one out the front. For those of you not local to Birmingham, you may not have seen, we've recently been bought. I say that fingers crossed because because I think the last signatures are happening as we sit here and speak. It's been about an 18-month process. And the only reason I mention that for now for you is to say what I'm going to tell you about, there's going to be significantly more of it happening over the next 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. So Innovation Birmingham is certainly the region's largest campus solely focused on digital technology businesses. So we're home here to about over 160 digital technology companies, all doing all sorts of interesting bits of software development and integrating digital technologies into hardware. And we do what we can to support those businesses to grow. One major part of that is through our incubation activities with our key corporate partners. We've probably incubated about 290 or so businesses over the last few years, and some of those are really starting to motor now and really starting to grow. We also run various projects, one of those being something called Innovation Engine, which kind of reaches out to another 180 or so companies across the region. So lots and lots and lots of sort of innovation activity centered around the campus here. Some of that, as I mentioned, has been or is with corporate partners. So we've got people like Barclays Bank here, the West Midlands Combined Authority, used to be Transport for West Midlands, the West Midlands Academic Health Science Network, Tata Motors, and some great new announcements coming up soon. But what we're really here to talk about is our new partnership with our friends at Bouygues and their alliance partners, and they're going to tell you more about that now. There are some very real commercial opportunities available here. So if you're a startup or SME and you like what you hear, or even if you don't like what you hear tonight, please go and speak to the people afterwards who are involved in the partnership. They're the ones with the green dots on their badges. And I'll try and remember to tell you at the end once they finish talking. The ones with the green dots on the badges. A couple of reasons why this is important, because it's a fantastic partnership they pulled together to support innovation and give you commercial opportunities. It also links very, very nicely into the government science innovation audit, which identified some key market strengths for the region. So next generation transport, sustainable construction, technologies for better health, this links with all of those, and indeed some of the enabling competencies as well, so digital technology and data and systems integration. So in summing up, the reason I say that is it's bloody great for the region that this consortia partners have come together with us to do this initiative. It's great for Innovation Birmingham because we've got another fantastic set of partners and value to add to you. It's great for the region because we're really plugging into what they've identified as our strengths. And most importantly, it's great for you, for those of you in startups or SMEs or anyone with innovation out there relevant to these guys, because there are some genuine opportunities here for you. So listen, hopefully you will because you're here, listen, talk to the guys afterwards with the green dots. I'll remind you that at the end. Have a drink, and I'm now going to hand over to Fabienne, who's the UK Country Manager for Bouygues.
Hello. Good evening. And I've got a green dot. So, good evening, and I'm really delighted to be here to launch this really special event for us. So, as Cliff just said, I'm Country Manager for Bouygues, and we're really delighted and very excited to be here because it's a really special event. We've launched several matching up events within Bouygues and our group, but never abroad, and I'm really proud to be here for the first time, for this matching up event abroad because we're doing it in Birmingham, and this is where I was born. So I'm really pleased. I won't bore you with the details. I just want to give you a bit of an overview of what Bouygues is. It was founded in 1952 by a guy called Francis Bouygues, who believed that construction was really an important sector for the future, and he really believed in concrete. And he started in social housing in Paris, and it worked. And so he went to see his dad, got a loan, and started building this huge company that is today. That's why we're stuck with the name. Bouygues is difficult to pronounce. Bouygues, we sort of spell it out, and BWEEG for people who don't know how to pronounce it when they read it. So nowadays, it's a sprawling company. It's an international company. We're working in 90 countries across the world, turnover roughly 33 billion, and employ 115,000 people. So, chart. we work in media and in telecoms, as you can see up there, and in construction, all sorts of construction, roads, infrastructure, property development, construction of all sorts. So, and highlighted in different colours are the people, the companies of our group who are taking part in this partnership. And so my colleagues are here in the room with you, and they'll be presenting parts of their business and how we can go forward and work with the startup community here in Birmingham. But enough of me. I think we'll launch a little film to tell you all about our group. Thank you.
They do all that. They make fantastic videos. I always think it's like a Coke advert watching a Bouygues video. I'm Steve Green. I'm Head of Knowledge Sharing in Bouygues UK, and I'm actually the project manager for this Matching Up event in Birmingham. So I'm just going to talk you through what Matching Up is. You've probably got a pretty good idea of what it is, but what we do is we identify a startup business and then we match it up with an employee in our business that has a particular interest in the idea that the startup business is putting forward. Now, if that's just an improvement opportunity in our business, that's probably as far as the matching up will go. But if it's got an impact on our client, our end user, or the end product, we'll probably draw upon our network of clients and customers to make sure as we develop the idea, it's fit for purpose, it keeps track with the client's requirements, and it addresses all the commercial needs. So either as a two or a group of three, we then come up with an innovative project or product. So why would we do that? When we build in an area, we have what we call a Meet the Buyer event. So we'll go out, we'll meet the local supply chain, we'll look to employ the local steelworker, bricklayer. What we're missing out on is the intellectual capital in the area of our offices. So what we've got here in Birmingham and the West Midlands is a fantastic opportunity to draw on that intellectual property to help us develop our business and hopefully yours as well. We're a sizable business, as you've already seen. We do have an R&D department in our head office, Challenger in Paris, and I'll offend my French colleagues, so if they're behind the screen, that'd be fine. What I want some ideas from the Midlands. Let's draw some innovation from the Midlands, apply it in the Midlands, and wouldn't it be fantastic if we could then use the Bouygues group to get that out around the world? And we've got a fantastic opportunity here to harness what we've got. Yes, it helps us because we've got clients here this evening. We want to involve clients in the startup businesses and ours so that we can shape the future together. We don't want to just dictate. We need to always understand our clients and their needs. And it's a great opportunity to reinvest in the local economy. We built this. You'll see later when I present Bouygues UK, there's a lot of construction work going on. If we can fill auditoriums like this every time, who knows, David might need another building to put people into, and we want to foster that, and we want to be around to deliver it. I'm going to quickly run through the timeline. Those of you that have looked on the portal will have already seen this. We haven't got time for questions now, but we're going to be here for a long time after we finish speaking, so please make the most of that. We launched on the 26th of March. It closes on the 5th of May. Then by the 22nd of June, we'll have analysed the applications that we've had. We'll identify those businesses that we want to move forward with. More importantly, we'll have identified the people within our staff that have got a passion for the idea that can then work together to a final pitching event on the 21st of September, which will be the sort of Dragon's Den type approach. And then following that, we'll then select who, and this is the advantage being cross-disciplines, who we want to run with, who we want to invest time and money in the future, and hopefully we'll be back again sometime October, November for the awards. We're going to cover the individual themes later, so I'm not going to discuss those now, but what I would stress, and it's what Cliff kindly stressed at the start, please don't miss the opportunity after the event to buttonhole everyone with a green dot. This is a unique opportunity to understand what we actually need to move our businesses forward and put you in a better place to be successful in the challenge. So please grab hold of that. And now I'll hand over to Maxime, who will cover the previous challenges. Thanks, Maxime.
So, hello. First, a special thanks to Steve and Sasha to make it possible, because they do a great they work very well. As you can hear it, I'm from France, with a good accent and a good English level. Just to give you some key numbers, I'll try to be less annoying as I can. But Matching Up was created 3 years ago. Actually, there is one challenge per year. The initial goal was to accelerate business between startups and SMEs with Bouygues Construction, the group. So 3 years ago, so we got since 3 years we got more or less 500 applications from startups and SMEs. 165 startups and SMEs got matched with already 200 employees of Bouygues Construction. We are very proud of this number because for the first edition it was only 30, so it grew up after year. Just to tell you, of course, that it's not only a matching. The idea is to do business. So we after that we launched really 50 tests, 50 experimentations, and we today deployed at the international level for the entire group 6 of them. You have? Sorry. Thank you. Just some example of success stories. Energy IP. So they are doing a new type of PoE, Power over Ethernet. This year we'll build with them, thanks to them, the first ready-to-service building in France, and they will generate more than 250k euro of turnover. It's quite big for a startup. Perfony, it is more a lean management tool for construction sites. It's now more work sites are using it, so they generated more than 300k euros turnover. And eLamp, it's more human resources management tool. You can find skills of your needs and so on for different working sites. And they have been tested in 3 companies, internal companies of Bouygues Construction, and now they are in the deployment of the all group. So probably a lot of turnover. As you can see, we not looking only for companies in our core business, but also for different innovation for helping us doing better the smart city and the city of the future. And now, Chris. Thank you.
So, hello, my name's Chris Barnard and I'm the Innovation Coordinator for the MMA. Now, I believe when we kind of did the running order for this is that we were going to start with the Alliance, so it's kind of what, as a group, we do is work together and on the actual projects themselves. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the Midland Metro Alliance is. We're here to build the 5 tram extensions to the existing Midland Metro Line 1, and we did a replacement, or track replacement for about 1.3 kilometres up Wolverhampton. And as you can see, the network is quite extensive that's planned. There's a Wensbury-Briley Hill route. There's a route that takes it round past Curzon Street and out to Solihull and to the interchange where HS2 is stations planned to take things up to Manchester. And equally, there's an extension that's currently under construction out towards Edgbaston. The important thing that we're doing here is that we're going to build the first catenary-free tram system in the UK. So there's been some battery-powered tram tests that have happened on the existing line, and it means that we can build through areas of reasonably structural significance without damaging the area, with loads of poles everywhere and wires hanging from those poles. So that's quite good. And it will be, as I say, the first one in the UK. And the development from this, it means that people can get around Birmingham more easily and the West Midlands. So that it's expected that there will be 50,000 jobs created from this and a contribution of 4 billion to the economy. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 themes. The first is intelligent city, big data and AI for multimodal transport, and the final one is connecting the general public with decision makers. As principal contractor on the MMA, who is Colas Rail, who will be presenting after me, Julie, these themes relate to Colas Rail as well, because as it is a rail project, but equally we are supported by Colas and Bouygues at the same time. So the first one is intelligent city. So when we were coming up and having a look at these themes and what we wanted to get out of what is being developed here and encourage to develop, this is kind of the idea that we came up with. So what we wanted to do was how we can kind of benefit the design, construction and operation of the Midland Metro. So at the moment, we're currently designing for some of the future schemes. Can we be putting sensors in the drainage boxes in order to kind of make that maintenance more targeted? Because every £1 we save on design, we save £10 on construction, and then we save £100 on maintenance. So it's really important that we get these innovative ideas and also ways to find solutions to the problems that the operators possibly having with maintenance. So the next challenge is using big data and AI to integrate better transport modes. So obviously, as you know, Birmingham is holding the Commonwealth Games, which presents us some challenges in trying to construct in and around that time. So we are looking at accelerating some of our programs so that we can have the tram networks in operation for this. And the important thing is we're going to have new people coming around Birmingham and using the city that possibly haven't been to Birmingham before, and how do they use this new piece of equipment that is there. But equally, when we're building it, and up until that point, how do we ensure that people can still get to work on time and using the way of, if they're by car or by bus, when there's, in particular, significant network disruption going on. So what can we develop in order to talk to people? What can we use in order that they can understand where the planned works are going to take place and minimise their disruption to their day-to-day life? Final theme that we talked about is as part of this is connecting people to decision makers. So I know part of EBS there was a public consultation where people got to vote on which route and what was best suited to them. But equally, can we start using the people's transport data to make decisions on where the tram platforms are and where they are on future schemes, both planned for East Birmingham to Solihull and also in the future. So it's all quite important. And where this kind of links in as well is that although we're building something quite significant within the West Midlands, the tram network within the UK is reasonably extensive. The future growth for this network is significant. So any innovative solutions that are presented now will most likely be incorporated into future bids. So in particular, Bath, Coventry, Cardiff, all these cities are now looking at ways to move around their city without it polluting to the environment. And by having an electric tram, it presents an opportunity for those cities. So this leads nicely on to my parent company, Colas Rail, to present the next bit. So thank you very much.
Oh yes, what do I press? What's the next? Oh, technology. Hello everybody, my name is Julie Pickering and I'm here from Colas Rail. As Chris mentioned, we're the principal contractor for the Midland Metro Alliance, and our aim is to be the partner of choice for all aspects of rail infrastructure solutions. So we're the rail arm of this little family who are represented here tonight. So in terms of looking at Colas Rail and the services we deliver, when we're talking about rail, we have heavy rail, which is your New Street station. And in terms of that, we do infrastructure. We do 40% of track renewals in the country. So we're the largest track renewals supplier in the UK. And we also work on very large projects like Waterloo Station. You might have seen the works going on there last year. That was us. And of course, we're gearing up for HS2. We do a lot of services which complement the work we deliver. So we have a lot of on-track plant. We do monitoring and maintenance. We also do freight. We're shipping things around on the railways while everybody's asleep. And finally, we have urban, which is the division that I represent, which is the Midland Metro Alliance. And urban doesn't just mean light rail, which generally means trams. It means working within the constraints of the city centre environment, because it is very different when you're working right in the middle of Birmingham to when you're working out in the suburbs. And there's a lot of challenges that come with that I think we could be applying innovation to. So, as Chris said, there's lots of opportunity in light rail. We're one of the global leaders in light rail and metro, and we've delivered schemes in over 50 cities around the world. So this is not just a UK opportunity, this is an international opportunity. People love trams. They'd love to have more trams, but they're expensive and they're complicated to build. Anything that we can do to improve on that is going to make that a more viable option. So talking about a little bit of the work that we're doing in terms of innovation, in conjunction with Bouygues, we are delivering the Very Light Rail Innovation Centre in Dudley. It's a very exciting project where they're going to be trying to develop these wonderful little autonomous pods down here that look like something out of Blade Runner. And also they'll be trying to develop new track form solutions, cheaper and easier ways of putting track into city centres. So that's going to be based in Dudley, just between the zoo and the castle, and that's a really exciting opportunity to be involved in, leading the field in the global development of light rail technology. The other opportunity that I wanted to talk to you about is nothing to do with engineering. So if any of you in here are feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of the engineering and the idea of construction, it is remembering that there's lots of other areas of the business that need innovation. And I think the Carl app is an excellent example of that. Close calls are when you nearly have an accident on site, but you don't. But it needs to be written down, it needs to be logged to make sure that that accident never happens again, that we don't get in those circumstances. In the past, it used to be that someone wrote it down on a card, they had to remember to hand it in, it got sent to somebody, it got entered onto a spreadsheet, and if you were lucky, it all went full circle. Now, when we put that on an app, that means that it's available to all people, the general public, as well as the people who are working on site. It's multilingual, so it's available in whatever languages that you need to use it. If an accident could have happened, not only can you log it immediately, you can take a photo of it, and your phone will know where you are, where the location of the thing nearly happened. It works offline, so you can log it if you need to, and it'll log on when you next hit a network. And then all of that data is being captured in a database for analysis of trends, and means that we can hopefully avoid any potential accidents on site. This is the sort of thing that makes a difference on a daily basis to our business and keeps all of our staff safe. So in terms of innovation, there are lots of ways that you can be helping us. Okay, and I'm going to hand over to Michael from Colas Rail.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Holmes, Associate Director for Colas UK. Specialise in highway civil engineering. Also a board member to the MMA Sub-Alliance, which demonstrates the collaborative link. I will apologise, late standing, so I do have notes not prepared. So Colas is a business. We're an award-winning operation recognised amongst many of the industry bodies, delivering sustainable solutions for the UK transport infrastructure. We invest, design, construct, maintain and operate a wide variety of projects for the private and public sector. We offer a true fence-to-fence solution in many areas, whether it be road, rail, water, accessing the world-class research and development facilities of the International Colas Group. We bring local delivery underpinned by global experience. With 1,490 employees across 20 locations, offering a multifaceted national delivery, allowing the group to be agile and respond to client need. We mix innovation and technology with a human touch to maximise value engineering opportunities and lean thinking. The Colas Group offering has been developed to respond to client need, and through continuous collaboration, we not only develop the next generation of competency for a struggling industry with a skills gap, we provide a business model that responds efficiently and drives by understanding the growth pressures on the UK infrastructure. We invest heavily, involved in early contract involvement initiatives that support alternative methods of procurement and awarding value engineering over long-term projects. Initiatives such as PFIs, PPPs, DBFOs, and alternative ways of funding which can be secured from different work streams working with the public sector. We offer design facilities with teams fully supported by operational knowledge and experience, specialising in whole lifecycle asset management. We have BIM and other innovative construction solutions where a lot of technology can be brought to the forefront and is being deployed across multiple areas, particularly the Midland Metro Alliance locally. Integrated construction processes delivering infrastructure across multiple asset types, mentioned before, road, rail, marine, airfields and technology with signalisation and technological solutions, VMS, out on the smart motorway network. So enough about the company. The purpose of today was to try and bring a little bit more understanding towards delivering social value through the construction process. It's quite close to the heart of our business. It's great that we go out there and build a product, but we need to consider what the effect we have on the local stakeholders, economy, environment, whilst we undertake our activities. Construction and infrastructure maintenance has evolved over the years, with traditional client-contractor relationships changing, albeit the trend is changing at a different pace. It's not necessarily about the end product, but more how it's achieved, how our conduct, our activities, affects surrounding stakeholders, and potentially legacy gains that can be made. Our challenge to the group is the consideration of delivering effective, efficient social value through the construction process. The Public Services Social Value Act of 2012 is an act of Parliament of the UK. It calls for public sector commissioning to factor in economic, social and environmental well-being in connection with public service contracts and for connected purposes. It is vast transformative power of procurement to shape communities and deliver good value. Many authorities have developed and referenced social value charters within tender and contract documentation, and whilst the group has responded reasonably where, well, there is more work that can be done and can be achieved through the assistance of wider parties. A robust social value strategy with the tangible programme and service offerings to be considered is what we're seeking from the group. A solution design consider and reflect social value, charters of the clients assisting peer-to-peer aspirations, being transparent with ease of communication, offering a cost-saving benefit into the local region, recognition as a considered national contractor. Can we consider a one-size-fits-all? A solution offered as a standardised format or a toolkit that can be adopted and rolled out across the nation. Would that be agile enough to respond to the needs both locally and nationally and allow for tangible measurement in terms of performance? There are good case studies that already exist, in particular ones that have been developed by Croydon Council, and similarly very local with the Midland Metro Academy, where we're looking to offer light rail into the local area, providing a legacy of an educational benefit that doesn't currently exist in the UK. Brand reflection, we want it to meet the values of the business. We're passionate about what we do, we're responsible, we're also visionary, and we want to ensure that our social value strategy meets the considering the impact of stakeholders analysis and those affected for our activities. Whilst being in a position to measure performance, should we be considering a social value task force that can be deployed to drive consistency and education across the group of good practice and lessons learned from various different aspects of the industry. Key fundamentals to gaining good level of understanding around the issues, both known and unknown, a strong means of developing a schedule of priorities, allowing for the maintenance of good collaborative and partnering arrangement. With strong community links, voluntary organisations play a key role as vital representatives for our group, social issues and sectors, especially the disadvantaged and hard to reach communities, should we consider linking to one of them as a volunteer group. Thank you for listening, and I'll hand you over to Matt Fitzpatrick from Bouygues Energies and Services.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Fitzpatrick from Bouygues Energies and Services. I'm responsible for transport, local government, and smart cities. So a little bit about what we do. We are the expert in the group looking after energy performance and services. Our group is essentially split into three segments. Energy and infrastructure, think smart grids, renewable energy, battery storage, through to smart cities, street lighting and intelligent transport, contracting, data centers, pharmaceuticals and life sciences, and FM, hard and soft, management services, energy solutions, and space optimization. So the three segments I'm going to talk about are augmented reality, connected home, and healthier communities. When we started to talk about these areas, we wanted to think about some of the problems being faced in these segments. I'm very close to local government, and one of the issues they face with today is not only reducing costs, but trying to identify areas where they can increase revenue. So we see potentially augmented reality as an area where we could generate new revenue streams for them. One of the interesting areas here is also how we merge a person's online activity offline. You know, tailoring marketing directly to an individual's use of the internet. This would obviously potentially save money from an advertising perspective. Obviously not having to print on any kind of adverts. Tracking data associated with how this boosts sales will be very, very interesting also for local government. How can we improve the experience not only of the high street but also of our spaces? Educating people about culture, educating people about history of our cities. Driving behaviour. One of the biggest issues I would say, like when I speak to local government, is obesity. How can we potentially use this kind of technology to drive behaviour about what we do from a food and beverage perspective, for example? Plug the imagination gap. So augmented reality is used for that today. How can we visualise an item we might purchase, an item of clothing on us? That is what augmented reality is being used for today. But for us, it would be an interesting solution for demonstrating the services, the street furniture, for example, that we promote in a street. That could be really quite interesting. And also promoting local produce and services within the community. Absolutely, local government really want to see advancements in that area. The connected home. The one thing I would say about the connected home, the experience is poor. How can we improve that experience in terms of merging loads of different technologies together, both wired and wireless? Security. Security is not only our data, our network, but also an individual maybe trying to get into our property. Is there some interesting ways about how we tackle that, alerting people to issues? Privacy. I think Facebook currently, we probably need to start thinking about how we push our data into the cloud. Is there some interesting developments around how we opt people out of sharing certain data? And again, bringing things together, creating better usability services and one software platform potentially around multiple products. And healthier communities. This is the one that our team is incredibly passionate about. We talk about reducing air pollution. So firstly, we might target things like fossil fuel vehicles, but actually we could also be thinking about how we can change people's behaviour. How do we address our own carbon footprint? Transport. So how potentially can we move transport around a city or a space based on how polluted that area is? Encouraging people to use greener spaces. Promoting sustainable, reclaimed and recycled building materials is a really interesting area for us, I would say. One other area that we talk about a lot with local government is issues with litter. So obviously at the minute we're promoting sensors in bins to detect when a bin is full, which will alert us to when we should empty that bin. But also how do we prevent issues around fly tipping and things like that. Promote biodegradable materials. This could be an interesting one which is linked in with augmented reality. Promoting certain types of products that use these materials would be incredibly interesting. And one of the final ones, I've thrown that in at the last minute, is pet waste. One local government had, a local authority had a real major issue with that. They posed us a challenge to say, how can we deal with that as an issue? How can we prevent that from happening? So I'm going to throw that out to the audience. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. I won't be throwing anything like that out to the audience, rest assured. I'm still Steve Green. Hopefully I'm still head of knowledge sharing, still employed by Bouygues UK. So Bouygues UK, we're the sort of Bob the Builder bit. We're the construction arm, but we're a major contractor. We're in the top 10 major contractors in the UK, almost $750 million turnover, 1,200 employees. Geographically, we go as far north as Manchester, as far south as Portsmouth. Strategic offices, Birmingham, Bristol, Cardiff, London, alphabetical order, I like it that way. In Birmingham, you've probably seen our tower cranes, you've probably seen our hoardings. We're just completing Pershaw Street by the indoor market. We've got St. Henry Square underway, the refurbishment in front of the new library there. And as we complete Pershaw Street, we'll then be moving on to the next project, Bath Court. These two projects are actually in conjunction with Link City that you may have seen earlier, that are the development arm of the business, a retirement village up in Derby and a university building up in Stas. The integrated construction, I'll tell you what, I'm going to walk over here. The integrated construction process is our challenge, it's Colas's challenge. Oh, is this not good sound, man? You'll tell me. So whether you're in construction or infrastructure, we're always told that we're not very productive. I think in construction, we've had the Latham report, the Egan report, the Mark Farmer, Modernise or Die. In, I think, infrastructure, there's something about moving from a transactional business to an enterprise business. So we've got work to do, and that work needs to be done about this integrated construction process. So the simple process is design, procurement, and construction. Probably 7 years ago, everything we did out on site was on a clipboard and a piece of paper and pens. What we've moved to now is the digitalization of the construction industry. So we've got iPads. We're capturing stuff electronically. We're sending it straight up to the cloud. It's synced back down. You've got dashboards on your iPad. You've got reports on the desktop. We've got the government telling us that we need to adopt BIM level 2. So it's not just three-dimensional design. It's embedding intelligence into what we design. So actually, digitalization must be the silver bullet that's going to improve efficiency in the construction process. You'd like to think so, but boy, have we got a challenge. We've surrounded ourselves with disparate, maybe even desperate pieces of software that aren't interoperable. We can't get them to talk to each other. You know, we thought this was the future digital, but we're not so sure. So we've got the iPads out there, but we need help. We need help. I'm going to probably misquote Donald Rumsfeld here. So there are known knowns. We know we need to improve on how we integrate our construction process. There are known unknowns. Unfortunately, we know that we don't know how to do it. We've been told for 12, 15 years by these various reports that you need to do this, you need to do that, and yet we've still got the productivity issues that we've got across the industry. But this really exciting piece is the unknown unknowns. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. But I'm hoping you're hearing our problem here and you're thinking, actually, we're doing something in agriculture, manufacturing, healthcare, that can somehow join up all these disparate pieces of software, which means that we can increase the productivity on each of our projects. We can increase the productivity in our business. We can increase the productivity in the country, because we're always here and we need to do that. If you can come on down, and please grab us at the end, if you can come on down and help us do that, rest assured we'll help you develop your business into a very good place in the future. So it's a great opportunity. I'm going to hand over to Cliff now. I've woken you all up because you wanted to nod off. I'll hand over to Cliff to close. Thanks again for your time.
Okay, so quick 30-second wrap up from me, and then it's drinky time, and more importantly, conversation time. My favorite, sorry for those of you startup guys, scale-up guys who heard me talk before, I'm going to bore you again with my favorite quote about startups. It's from a chap called Ben Horowitz, who founded a company called Opsware donkeys years ago and sold it to Hewlett-Packard for $1.6 billion, then started his own VC company with another chap and invested in Facebook and Twitter, Skype in the early stages. Some people just have that Midas touch, right? He said about startups, he said, you know, the thing about being a startup CEO is, you know, I slept like a baby. I woke up every 2 hours and cried. And one of the key reasons I know from bitter experience of trying to do this and trying to grow, you know, not only just startup, but SMEs, is access to corporate partners. It takes so long to find the right people and get the right conversation with them. About 2 years ago, actually, David Hardman just reminded me, about 2 years ago, you finished this building for us. So Bouygues built this building, and in those last 2 years, there's been so much innovation already happening here. it's actually lovely to have you back, actually with a program for yourself here in this building. So let's really, really make it work for you and for them. This is a goal. I'm going to say it again because I keep banging our heads, don't we? It's a golden opportunity for you to speak to these guys tonight. If you don't get to speak to the person you want to, look for the green dots. Just go online anyway to the website and apply. Is it? Yeah, great. Matching up. Go on the website and apply, but please try and have that conversation tonight because they dissipate off into the wilderness, these corporate types, and you never find them again. They're not quite that bad, but okay, please have a drink and more importantly, have a conversation.